central point. Therefore, if you can control the mind, then you can control the senses. So among the senses, the tongue is the most formidable, very difficult to control. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, तार मध्य जीवभावती लोभमय सुदूरवती तारे देता कठिन संसार. Of all the senses, the tongue is the strongest enemy, always proposing, eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this. Just see, for tongue only, one person eats little bit of beef only, not much. No, I have seen a piece of beef. But for the satisfaction of the senses, thousands of innocent animals are being killed. You see, they cannot control this, a bit of beef. They cannot control. If they decide that we are prohibiting, no meat eating. So, this is controlling the sense. Because unless you bring the senses under control, there is no question of spiritual advancement. तार मध्य जो जनमयथनादिग्रहमेदि सुखं नित्यक्षम तिप्पन्तनेह कृपणा बहु दुःख भाय. The sense, the tongue, the belly, the straight line, and then the genital. If you can control the tongue, then you can control your belly and then you can control your genital. And that is required. Unless you can control the genital, there is no question of liberation from this material body. This is the principle. Therefore, by practicing bhakti yoga, gradually, immediately it is not possible, but gradually, by sticking to the regulative principles and chanting Hare Krishna, we shall be able to control the senses, and the first sense is the tongue. Sevan mukhe hi jivbhado swayameva spurattada atasya Krishna namadi nabhavid graham indriyai. The senses are so strong, they will not allow me to become Krishna conscious. They will not allow me. Atasya Krishna namadi. Krishna consciousness means to understand Krishna, his name, his form, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, so many things. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. How much we have to learn about him. Just imagine. So all these things cannot be understood by these blunt senses engaged in material sense enjoyment. That is not possible. Therefore you have to control the senses. Atasya Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai. Our indriya, we are not habituated to use this indriya for material sense enjoyment. Therefore, these indriyas, senses, is not fit for understanding Krishna. It has to be purified. The senses, you cannot stop the activities of the senses, but you have to purify. That is recommended. That purification of the senses begins from the tongue. Therefore we have recommended that don't eat meat, don't taste intoxication, don't illicit sex. From the tongue it goes to sex is not prohibited, but illicit sex, that is control. That is control. If one is allowed to have unlimited, unrestricted sex, then he is doomed. Better restrict your sex in one. That means gradually it will be controlled. So we have to follow this. If we are actually serious about Krishna consciousness and going back to home, back to Godhead, make our life successful in this very life, then very successful means mukti, to be not entangled again with this material body. Takta deha punarjanma naiti mame, that is success. After giving up this body means the combination of the so many 24 elements. So long we will be entangled within this network of 24 elements, it is called conditioned life. And mukti, liberty means no more entanglement. Mukti hitya anatha rupam. We are now entangled in these 24 elements. And mukti means we are not entangled. Mukti hitya anatha rupam. Because we are entangled, we are thinking otherwise. I am American, I am Indian, I am this, I am that, I am that, I have got so many duties, I have got these things. But when one understands that these so-called duties are entanglement of these 24 elements of matter. I do not belong to this, I am aloof. I am aloof. This understanding is called Brahma-bhuta, Prasanna. At least theoretically, if we understand, then our duty changes, prasanna, fixed up. That whatever I am doing now, I am doing with this material, for the benefit of this material, not for my personal benefit. I am not these 24 elements. This is called mukti. So we have to practice, we are accustomed to this material entanglement, and this practice is there, and then gradually we shall be freed from this. Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. That is purification. When we become free from this designation. Then rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti. And when we are free from this, therefore bhakti actually begins after liberation. Bhakti is not nidvitta tarsai rupagiyamana. Nidvitta, one who has ceased Trishna. Trishna means aspiration. We have got so many aspirations. So, this transcendental life or chanting of Hare Krishna is meant for the liberated person. Nidvitta tarsai rupagiyamana bhavausadhi chotra manobhinama. This chanting is the medicine for our conditioned stage. Nidvitta tarsai rupagiyamana bhavausadhi chotra manobhina ka uttama sloka gunanubada virajyati pumane bina pasugna. Pasugna, animal killer. Pasugna in two meanings. One is killing himself, he is also pasugna. And one is killing animals, he is also pasugna. Therefore, meat eating is prohibited. That if you remain a killer of animals, then you cannot be purified. That is essential. No meat eating. So in this way, you cannot stop the activities of the senses. That is not possible. Because I am living being. If the sense activities are stopped, then what is my life? I am finished. That can't. This is impossible. The Buddha philosophy is stop, nirvana, stop the activities of the senses. That is not possible. Stop means you stop material activities. A boy is, when he is child, he is simply doing all nonsense and creating disturbance. But the same boy, when he is engaged in reading and writing, going to school, he is good boy. Similarly, you cannot stop the activities of your senses, but when you engage your senses in the activities of Krishna, that is perfection of life. Thank you very much.